I am just updating a position inside of the group right now. I actually just moved my stop loss to break even. For those of you guys who are within the group, you may know that I was looking at NZD CHF, and I actually just pulled my stop loss up a little bit and went ahead and trailed stops. Actually, I need to do that. So I just moved my stop loss to break even on my secondary account. And I'll go ahead and do that also on my main account. So let me just trail this up. Same spot. We are good. Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, I was doing that literally I forgot to do it this morning. And then as the stream was starting and warming up, I went ahead and moved my stop loss to break even. But I just went ahead and moved that stop to break even. For those of you guys who are members with us, that trade alert that I sent yesterday, 227. Oh no, it's been a couple days. Sorry. My NZD CHF trade, which I initially risked 20 pips on, is up about 34 pips at the time of recording right now. And I just went ahead and trailed that stop to break even. So just wanted to update for those of you guys who are kind of keeping pace on my trades and what I'm doing. My logic with this was basically, I bought this thing on a retest of structure. Things have been sort of like trailing higher. Here's the 4-hour view. You can kind of see price basically popped up here, came back to support, and I ended up taking a buy trade right there on the open of this week. And so far looking pretty good. I went ahead, like I said, and just trailed that stop loss to break even. I'm floating about $300 on the trade, which is, nothing spectacular, but again, a nice little pop there. And I like to go ahead and when price moves away from my stop loss by a good bit, usually like 1-to-1, I usually try to move that stop loss to break even. So for example, I risked 20 pips. So let's zoom in a little bit and we'll take a look at this. So I was risking 20 pips, right? Okay, so I entered right here. I've got 93,000 units there open on NZD CHF. My stop loss was initially 20 pips. So my stop loss was just here. So fairly tight, right? So my stop loss was there. Once price popped here overnight, I basically decided this morning, just now actually, that I would go ahead and trail that stop loss to break even. So this is a trade that I'm currently active in and looking for more upside. In terms of targets, right? I discussed this when I took the initial trade. Let me pull this up for one more second here. So my initial target was this move up here, just to this little bank, which we've already tagged. So we already kind of made our initial move. So we were able to move that stop loss to break even. But the bigger picture still, as we initially mentioned in this trade alert sent out to members, is that 1-hour high, target 2, longer term. We are looking to see if we can get back to this level here. Okay. So 0.6254, that's where I'm looking at, starting to really ramp in some profits. So for now, what I've done is I like to just manage the trade. The idea being, okay, I locked in some profits, or not profits, but I locked in the trade. I took the risk off the table from my initial trade. And now if price moves up here, excellent. We'll go ahead and lock more in, follow the trade, etc. More aggressively if we hit up to target 2. So that would be my approach here. So every trade that I take, full breakdowns come inside of the Discord. So here's why I took this trade. You can see I shared it 227 with members. My entry was 61.92, risking 20 pips. And the analysis was going long on NZD CHF after price gapped lower on the open. I had my eye on this setup last week, but now we're getting a second chance here. I'm risking 20 pips below structure on a 61.8% retracement off of the highs. So you can kind of see there's this fib retracement. So swing low, swing high. We can draw that in the chart here as well. If I go here, swing low to swing high, right? There's that 61.8% retracement. So lined up with my level, right? Support zone and the 61.8. That's something I like from a technical analysis perspective, but then also fundamentally, which is equally important for why I take a trade. This pair has been showing some strength recently with strong performance from the South Pacific economies, notably AUD and NZD, right? Australia and New Zealand. And I'm looking to trade a potential pullback here with a short-term target at target 1, which we just discussed, and then target 2, where I'll look to trail stops more aggressively. And then if I'm wrong, I'll stop out for a small loss. But in this case, we were fortunately correct about this trade. Let's take a look at euro dollar. So euro dollar leaving us bears behind. I was not able to get into any short setups. I had my eye on this idea here, a retest of resistance, right? 1.13. did not get the chance to do so, right? We missed it by just a little narrow level. We gapped back open. We started making a move higher. It does look like things failed out completely. We did not see that that close the gap concept, which is really interesting. So a lot of times when you get these big liquidity drops, right, especially on the open of a new week, right? This was a new week gap down, right? And if you look at it from a different broker, a lot of brokers show the gap, right? There's the gap, right? Price trailed higher into the close last week and then opened up much lower. So that gap tried to fill, right? We didn't quite get to the close of that gap. So I do still think at some point or another on the next euro dollar rally, it's going to probably want to close that gap. It's very natural for markets to want to do that. It's not 100%, but where we currently sit, the euro dollar is, let's go back to the Oanda version. So Oanda, let's just draw this thing fresh. So where we currently sit, right? This is definitely kind of a level of support for the buyers, right? We have to acknowledge that we've had a couple interesting points here. Big buying pressure here, right? We've had some pretty solid buying pressure on the open, and now we've trailed back down to the lows. Euro dollar going off of this concept. We've multiple bottomed right here, right? We've been having this thing where, okay, every time it gets down to the lows, it basically shoots off the lows pretty strong, right? Until that changes, this thing is not at a very interesting spot for me. Now, to be fair, right, when we look at this from a technical analysis standpoint, you've got this downward structure. The thing that would be interesting is, can we actually get a breakout? Right? I mentioned that we had huge buying pressure come in right here. You can actually see I closed my short position. I shorted here. I closed here. I covered that in recent videos. I shorted the euro dollar in light of the whole situation with Russia, Ukraine. So I shorted that thing at resistance. Basically, price came down, 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 down. And after that pin bar, I just decided I'm going to hop out. So I'm of course, in hindsight, I'm very glad that I did, because price did rally. And now we're back down at the lows. So the thing that would be interesting to me from a technical analysis standpoint with the euro dollar is, can we get some sort of true sign of downward pressure? Can we get a breakout, right? And not just a wick down, but can we get a break and a close outside of this low, right? A break to the downside basically would be interesting. So for example, if we were to get a candle that kind of looks like, actually, let me try that again. If we were to get a candle that could break underneath here and actually close somewhere underneath this level of support, I would say that that's a very bearish sign, and any pullback from that level would definitely be a point where I could see myself looking for shorts. And you may ask, well, where could we go next? Well, we've got so much, the floor is the limit at this point. If we're able to break out of this support zone, this is of course the low that we made in early 2022. We tried to break through, but you can see that level got denied by the buyers. The buyers were strong here enough to hold it for the time being. But if we show signs of weakness here, if the buyers are not able to hold this stronghold, that's going to be, in my opinion, a sign of weakness that could carry us to new lows, right? So again, just because something is at the yearly low does not mean that it cannot make a new yearly low. So when I look at the euro dollar, what I'm looking for is any signs of weakness. I am looking for continuation plays on this pair. I'm looking for something like this. And so for where would that be in terms of an entry? Well, we'd be looking at something like this. My most straight up approach to this would be, okay, price breaks out, shows that strength, retests that level, right? So it shows, okay, the sellers are very strong on any retest. That would be an opportunity to potentially go short with a stop loss, depending on how lenient you are. If you're more of a swing trader like me, that's a bigger stop loss for day traders, that sort of thing. But in terms of, risk to reward, you've got the idea of fading this thing, trying to go for another move like this. Watch how much pips this was. I mean, this move here, right? From this move down to this move, very quick, 250 pips. So if that were to repeat, if something were to worsen with the Russia-Ukraine situation, it's very possible that we could see another leg lower on this trend. And so fighting this is not my cup of tea, right? I'm not looking to buy this thing. I'm not looking to go against the flow here. I'd definitely be looking more to kind of just go with it. And honestly, my stop loss would probably be closer to around 40 pips, just the way I trade things. But that gives you plenty of room to try and trail stops, let this thing run, and make a move lower. Excuse me, I muted the mic so you guys wouldn't hear that super noisy sneeze. But so my point is with this, right? The euro dollar is trending lower. What that means is that it's basically the path of least resistance until things change, economically speaking, right, or fundamentally with this whole war in Ukraine. The euro dollar looked very weak to me, and so any breakout, any signs of weakness, I'm definitely looking to jump in on that and try and join the move. So that's a pair that I have high on my watch list.
Interested in seeing our trades live as they happen? By joining the A1 Trading Discord, you'll get a notification every time one of our traders enters a position. Each trade we share comes with an entry price, a stop loss, and most importantly, a full breakdown of why the trade was taken. Learn alongside our experienced traders, join our active chat room, and ask your questions in our coaching webinars. Between our team of active traders, we trade forex pairs, commodities like gold and oil, crypto, and stocks. By joining the group, you'll be able to keep up with all of it. Sign up today using the link in the description, and don't forget to use our promo code listed below for a special subscriber discount. Thanks for watching, and see you inside.